Hello YouTube and welcome back once again to Delersholid. And here we can see a vile force of darkness has arrived, straight off the bat. That's how you know this is going to be a good episode, YouTube. Alright, let's see what we got. Just a bunch of plain old goblins so far. Call the squads to the green hall. Look at these damn fool goblins. What do they think they're going to do? This hall was such a success last time that I'm not even afraid of these guys anymore. They could bring all the goddamn beak dogs they want. They're afraid. They know something's up. They've heard the stories. They see the vomit, the gore, the discarded weapons. The spikes again are sticking up out of the ground. And skewered. Beautiful. Alright guys, you ready? Once again, with feeling. I have to remember to close up those southern gates so the goblins can't escape down that way. Just hang in there, warriors. 2 seconds. Let them get right up here. There's already zombies coming back to bother the goblins still in the hall up here, who just got skewered again. The goblins up front must be having second thoughts at this point. It looks like a couple of goblins are starting to run away. I'm not letting you guys get the hell out of here, that's for sure. Dwarves are moving out. Dwarves are a-fighting. And the goblins are falling as we speak. And all the other ones are starting to run away. Tell you what, I'm not going to have my guys chase them out through that hall. But hopefully they get held up long enough to get skewered once more. Just one invader left in that hall there, getting ripped apart by zombies. Other than that, another successful defense. Good job, dwarves. And just as we did last time, I'm going to keep all of my warriors in the green hall here just to deal with incoming zombies, while we go take a look at the lower fortress area. Pretty much just as we had left it last time, except this time I'm really going to start working on this lower area. I mean, unless something really catastrophic happens, I plan on having dwarves in the lower fortress by the end of this episode. Melbil Zirilastesh, the woods dwarf, has been possessed. My god, with these artifacts, we've had so many recently, it's ridiculous. Melbil Zirilastesh has claimed a carpenter's workshop. Melbil Zirilastesh has begun a mysterious construction. Also, I noticed that this guy is fond of helmets. Not that I want him to make a wooden helmet, but it might be kinda cool. Mildly excited. Melbil Zirilastesh, the woods dwarf, has created Desgirnulan Shigintadar, a willow hatch cover. Let's take a look. Goad Blames, the autonomy of mortality. Yada yada yada, highest quality, menaces with spikes of ash. On it is an image of Dangled Autumn, the outrage of bodices, an artifact figurine that we made last episode. There's also an image of dwarves, relating to the founding of the fortress here, and an image of elk birds in Gabbro. Fairly standard. Fantastic work, buddy. Now throw it in the pile and get back to work. I've been down in the fortress for a bit, getting the place cleaned up, trying to get that in order, and another vile force of darkness has arrived. Let's take a look to see what they're packing this time. It's a bunch of goblins at the moment. They seem very cautious. I mean, is that really it? That can't be it, right? What the hell do they think this is? This is 10 goblins right here. They didn't even end up triggering those spikes there. Well, no worries. Now I'm hoping for a clean sweep this time. Here they come, YouTube. Go get them, dwarves. Just decimating them. And it looks like 2 are able to escape. Well, it's a shame, but no matter. They don't stand a chance against us anymore, huh? Which is great. Let's just focus on the fortress a little bit more. You can see now we have 8 Hammerlords. They've been training this entire time, and the lower fortress is really starting to come along. These little farm chambers up to the north and south are almost completed. We're just gonna have to get some mud down in those lower rooms so we can start growing plants in there. Virtually all these residences are completed at the moment. Just a couple additional pieces of furniture I want to throw in there, but that's nothing to worry about. Now, I've never had my dwarves write books before, and the merchants just came through and they brought with them a bunch of sheets and other book-making materials, so I bought a few things. And I figured, what the hell, why not make some books? I'm usually kind of apprehensive about trying new stuff in this game, but it doesn't seem like it's that bad. And currently the only dwarf in the fortress with the bookmaking skill enabled is Edom Lucky Misashnish, the dwarf who's been here since day one. I figured since she's been here so long, she'd have the most experiences to write about, and those writings could be a boon to future generations living here in the fortress. Eventually I plan on having a more professional book writing area, but I guess for now I could just do it in one of these craft dwarf workshops. Make choir, I believe? It's high time we started recording our history. He's picked out some nice giant sparrow parchment. Sensible. Making a choir. Now I'm not sure if this process actually makes a readable book, or if he actually has to pen something in afterwards. There might be an additional step. It looks like the ghost Shem is trying to assist him in the process. There's a boy, Shem. Don't let a little thing like death get you down. And it looks like he finished it. Alright, this just made a giant sparrow parchment choir. And so then, looks like we cannot bind a book yet because we need a written on choir, a book binding, and collected thread, which we do have. But how to write a book? I know there are libraries now, so maybe I have to make a library first before we can even write in the book. Alright YouTube, trying to get back into the whole swing of things with just building stuff. We've been getting attacked by goblins so frequently I forget what it's like to plan out these projects. Now I haven't done anything with a library yet, but it did get me thinking about preserving our fortress's history. So I began work on a memorial hall, a new one, right underneath this water trap area, connected up to these lower residences. See, I've got the majority of it planned out at the moment. It's going to be 4 Z levels tall, with a big pit in the middle, with all the slabs arranged around the outside. And up here I have a small area over to the east, and this is going to be a particularly special chamber, dedicated to our fortress's heroes. More on that later. Spring has arrived, YouTube, in the year 1025, meaning that Delersholid is now 20 years old. That really is something. I've never had a fortress this long. Ever. Just think about all the crazy shit that's happened so far, and how far this fortress has come. When we started, it was just one tiny little structure up here, which is still here actually, just much improved. And now we have our new, beautiful underground fortress. We're starting to make some very good progress in the memorial hall here. All these slabs that you see are ones that were taken out of the upper memorial hall and placed down here. We'll have plenty of room for the rest. And you can see I have dwarves now pouring water into this farm plot room right here from this level above. I have a bunch of different pond zones set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just around this channel area. So now dwarves are heading out to this pond here, grabbing a bucket from this pile, filling it up, and then coming up above here to fill up this room and get those floors nice and muddy so we can actually grow things. Then after that's all done, I'm going to seal up this channel, and we're going to use this room for kitchens. It should work out pretty well. Here we can see the Dwarven Bucket Brigades going about their duties, filling up this farm plot room down to the south. They've already completed one of the rooms, and a plot has been scheduled to be built. It's actually going a bit faster than I thought it would. We have another artifact here. Now I know I didn't go through the usual spiel of who was possessed and what workshop they took, but I figure we've seen enough of that crap already. So I'm just going to cut that part out from now on, unless it's interesting. Anywho. Aitan Dodakatas, the Dirtbeard, has created Evostidos, a llama bone leggings, which sounds pretty cool. It's funny how every single time I have my hopes up. Every single time. Let's see. This is a llama bone leggings. All craft dwarfship is of the highest quality. It is studded with copper and decorated with llama bone and pigtail. This object is adorned with hanging rings of pearwood and gabbro, and menaces with spikes of sphalerite and copper. On the item is an image of a giant harp seal and gabbro. Okay, well, that's kind of an odd choice, a giant harp seal. And there is quite a few other little details on there that makes it kind of hard to picture. But you know, I don't think it would look that bad, really. So now we have llama bone leggings, a donkey bone mace, and elk bone greaves. We're well on our way to making some sort of awesome bone warrior. Very nice, I love it. Throw it in the pile and get back to work. While we're putting the finishing touches on the farming area, I made a little library over here. Right here, one of these bedrooms, 2 little bookcases in there, and I've named it the Small Library. How clever. Now in the location menu here, you can see that there are positions for both a scholar and a scribe. I set Adam as a scribe, because that sounds more like the one that would write things. I'm really not sure what either of them do. So I'll just set it like that and see if she starts writing books. Well, looks like we already have a selection of dwarves enjoying our new library. Einad, the naturalist. We have the Lord Doctor and her assistant. And of course Shem, the ghost. Probably trying to find some good books. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but we actually have no books yet, so what the hell are you guys doing in here exactly? Now, if we look up here, YouTube, you can see that I put the finishing touches on the temple to Aital, the dwarven god of balance. As such, I made sure that the temple was nice and balanced in appearance. Got a couple nice rows of pews here, 2 identical gold statues of Aital, a couple of silver doors, a couple more silver statues of Aital outside, and a couple of offering tables up front here. Also, I did a little engraving on the back wall. It's of Aital striking a triumphant pose, and then some crafts, amulets, necklaces, that sort of stuff, that are all melting, followed by my dwarves, who are praying but also look confused, and then a mountain representing the fortress here, just kind of to represent our relationship with this enigmatic god so far. I also have to make sure to get these bloodstains cleaned up. Very unbalanced. We're living in sin, dwarves. All must be balanced. Through equality we shall triumph. The great scale measures us all, so saith Aital, by the great balanced beard. Down here near the naturalist quarters, I dug out a couple of new rooms. You can see this northern chamber here is for dogs. The southern room here is for pigs. And this tiny little room down here is for our couple of ravens. I made some stairs on the sides leading up to different levels where I'm going to have nest boxes. I figured it was kind of cruel just to keep them relegated to this one level. They should be able to stretch their wings at least a little bit. Also, I decided to throw all the invaders that were stuck in cages down underneath here where all this webbing is. They were kind of bothering me up there, so they can sit down here for now, till we find out something better to do with them anyways. Well, looky here, YouTube. Looks like we have a new mayor. Zuglar Deleros, the Dirtbeard. Very interesting. Let's take a look at this guy.
In life, you should work hard, then work harder.
From that statement alone, I can already tell that you're going to be a good mayor. Although it is odd to have a filthy dirtbeard elected to the position. She's been here for a couple of years, not too long. 93, so she's getting up there compared to my other dwarves. She's like the polar opposite of Ingish, our last mayor. She is constantly ablaze with feelings of lust. She is a vulgar being who does not care a lick for even the most basic rules of civilized living. What the hell are the voters of Delersholid basing these votes on? She talks to inanimate objects when she's trying to remember something. What the hell? Well, very interesting. You know, just because she was elected mayor, I think I'm going to elevate her from Dirtbeard to Tunneler. There we are. We can't have the mayor of our fortress being a filthy dirtbeard now, can we? Got another artifact here. Faika Olanimketh, the woods dwarf, has created Lavanbukust, a fungi wood casket. Let's take a look. Prairie Urges. It is encircled with bands of water buffalo bone. This object is adorned with hanging rings of pigtail and menaces with spikes of fungi wood, gabbro, and cave spider silk. On the item is an image of Cudgel Road, the gold mace, in goat bone. That's pretty neat. On the item is an image of Einel Hailed Metal, the dwarf, in iron. On the item is an image of Life Negated, the Firelight coffin, in giant bush tit leather. Alright, so there's an image of a coffin on this casket. Huh, pretty cool. We'll have to do something with that. It's especially neat that it has a picture of Aztechalon on it. But for now, throw it in the pile and get back to work. Alrighty, just put the finishing touches on the temple to Lorbam up here, the dwarven god of fame. You can see I have a couple of gold statues crafted in his likeness, as well as a couple of gold offering tables, and that lighter color flooring there is actually silver bars. I decided to arrange the pews around him because he's kind of like the center of attention. You know, the god of fame. Figured he'd probably like that. And on the back wall there, I have an engraving of Lorbam, who's laughing, surrounded by a bunch of dwarves who are praying to him. And again, there's a couple of silver doors and silver statues of him outside. In other news, we've begun growing crops down underneath here, and this northern farmer area is now completed as well. We have new kitchens and stills in place, as well as some new food stockpiles right next to this meeting hall area. And we've got a bunch of that gore that was splattered around the area all cleaned up as well. Always a good thing. I've decided to make another smaller hallway around this area here. And I'm going to put a couple more temples out that way. Maybe some other stuff too, I'm not sure. Just trying to give us a bit more room. Also, I looked a bit more into the whole library scholar thing there, and it's actually very interesting. Your dwarves will write books eventually, and it's the scholars who write books. The scribes copy books that already exist in your fortress. Now Edom, or Lucky, has been pondering the sun and seasons for quite some time now, which I guess means she's researching the topic in preparation for writing a book eventually. I'm not sure how long the whole process takes exactly. Also, her constant companion is Shem the ghost, who really seems to like hanging out in here. I don't think he's left the library since I made the thing. Well, at least it keeps him out of trouble. I've got a couple more layers of the memorial hall done now. 1, 2, 3, almost filled with slabs, and then this bottom area here, which has a couple of slabs in it, and still plenty more room, which I'm sure we'll use at some point, unfortunately. If you take a look up here at the top level of the memorial hall, you can see I have a couple of shrines set up currently. Each shrine has a golden statue and a slab dedicated to the dwarf that it represents. We have Dusum the Deadbeat, the last leader of the first conquerors. He has a golden statue of him fighting hordes of zombies. Vabak, the Mace Father, the creator of Aztechalon. His statue is of him contemplating an image of Aztechalon. We have Deler the Razorback, one of the greatest leaders of the first conquerors. This statue is of her striking down a forgotten beast, which was actually the last thing that she managed to do before she drowned to death. And this one over here is to Thultig the Tutor, who was the leader of the Ravenheads for quite some time, and a damn fine teacher. His statue is of him and a bunch of other dwarves. He's speaking with them while they listen on. 2 more spaces here. I'm not sure who to give those to. I also intend to eventually put a statue out here for Kivish, the old leader, who was the original expedition leader of Delersholid here, the one who guided the dwarves to this location. He deserves kind of a special place, I think, and we'll get to that eventually. For now, I'm thinking of making a couple of more temples in here. I wasn't sure what to do with this big open area, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Build a couple of temples right in here, kind of suspended above the ground, and they'll be temples to Nagalak, the god of night, and Iklist, the god of dusk. I figured that'd be appropriate because night has already fallen for all of these dwarves in here. Kind of dreary when you put it that way, but whatever. I gotta put them somewhere. Now YouTube, as I've been doing work down here, I can't help but notice all these unused minecart tracks, and it's really been bothering me. So I've been trying to get them up and running, and to do that, I'm gonna have to put rollers all along the damn things, which is gonna be a gigantic pain in the ass. I set up a couple rollers already, and I set a minecart on them, and it got pushed up the tracks, but then rolled down. It just gets pushed back up again by these new rollers. So it's currently just in a constant state of movement up and down the tracks. I can't really see a good way to get it off there safely, so I guess I'm just gonna try to work around it. I mean, I imagine if the thing hits one of my dwarves, it's gonna cause them to fall off the tracks, which could potentially kill them. Really not safe, I guess. Or smart for that matter. But what's life without risk? You need that spice, especially here in Delersholid. That's basically our motto. Oh Jesus. This tunneler was just struck by the minecart, whose left lower arm exploded into gore. But at least it looks like the minecart stopped moving. Hopefully this guy makes it. I'm sure I'll be fine. I finished up some work. That was very satisfying. What are you, an idiot? Vabok Kekathendok, the wood dwarf, has created Rosatlacast, a green glass crown, which sounds goddamn awesome. Here I am again, getting excited. Let's see. Chapel Butcher. It is encrusted with square brilliant cut aquamarines, rectangular gabbro cabicons, emerald cut topazolites, and round microcline cabicons. Studded with copper, decorated with llama wool, and encircled with bands of trillion cut green glass gems. This object menaces with spikes of sphalerite. Now, this is interesting. On the item is an image of Geeka Skirtmansion, the elf, and dwarves in green glass. This is actually the first time I've seen an elf referenced anywhere in this series. The dwarves are prostrating themselves before Geeka Skirtmansions. The artwork relates to the defeat of the Foggy Books by the Nightmare of Webbing and lordship of the elf Geeka Skirtsmansion over at Hamepuzzle in the early autumn of 74 during the conquest of Hamepuzzle. What the hell does that mean? During the conquest of Hamepuzzle. That sounds very interesting. I'm definitely going to have to take a look into that. Actually, you know, I'd rate that artifact pretty high. It's kind of interesting. Little piece of historical info there. Now throw it in the pile and get back to work. Alrighty YouTube, you can see down here in the Memorial Hall, I finished up the temple to Nagalak, the dwarven god of night, just kind of suspended here in a ring on one of the upper levels of the Memorial Hall. It's made of microcline, cobaltite, and kimberlite, this dark blue color here. And we have a statue of Nagalak himself, raising up an image of the moon, above his head I'd imagine, as well as a small offering table. And if you look over here, there are some downward stairways, leading to another almost identical temple, but this one's to Iklist, the god of dusk. I figured since they're so similar, they probably have some sort of a relationship, and most likely they both have something to do with death, or the afterlife or something. It doesn't seem like the Foggy Books, which is my civilization, have any gods dealing with death at all, so I figured these two would probably be suited for the task. Here we have a kimberlite statue of Iklist, admiring a hidden moon. I assume hidden by the horizon, as it rises into the sky perhaps. I imagine Nagalak, the male dwarven god of night, and Iklist, the female dwarven god of dusk, as brother and sister, working together to lead dwarven souls to an eternal slumber in the lands of night. And hopefully nobody falls off these things and kills themselves. That'd be ironic. Now down here at the bottom of the residential level, I've planned out a couple of small rooms over on the sides to be used as barracks for the troops. And of course they're going to be 2 Z levels high, and they're actually fairly close to the main entrance of the fortress. So I figured that'd be a good spot for them. Also, you may notice that I did finish this hallway over here. I still don't really know what I'm going to put over here, but I'll get to it soon enough, don't worry. Yet another artifact. Led Muthkatused the Cogsdwarf has created Rotiglectad, a microcline mechanisms, which sounds extremely boring. This will be the cool one. Watch. Blenched lures?
How do you spell it?
B-L-E-N-C-H. I'm pretty sure it's not even a word. Blenched? Alright, we have confirmation that is an actual word. It's to make a sudden movement out of fear or pain. Blenched. Okay, I guess it's a word. Anyways, blenched lures. Blah blah blah. It is encircled with bands of iron and giant wombat leather. This object menaces with spikes of microcline. On the item is an image of Cudgelroad, the gold mace in giant great horned owl leather. It would seem that putting images of Astechelon on our artifacts is becoming the in thing to do. Which is cool, but on a mechanism that's pretty boring. Whatever. Throw it in the pile, get back to work. Currently I have my dwarves sorting out some stone in what is going to be the mason area. And you can see up top here I have another stockpile for furniture. That's getting pretty full. I'm probably going to have to sort through here and get rid of a bunch of stuff at some point, because we have a ton of shit laying around. YouTube, as you can imagine, I'm spending a lot of time down in that fortress and not much is going on, so I frequently look away at this point and something just happened when I looked up. There's a couple of wounded dwarves, there's a pig corpse running around up top here, as well as a badly wounded and enraged dwarf down here, covered with blood and surrounded by what I assume to be his own teeth. Let's try to figure out what happened. A pig corpse and a billy goat corpse wandering around the place, nowhere near each other. Where the hell did they come from? Yeah, I have no clue why the hell this pig died. I don't know where the hell that goat came from down underneath. Yeah, I'm really at a loss. They kind of just popped up simultaneously, hit dwarves a couple of times, and were killed. Actually, well, I mean, the pig's still alive. The goat is dead, though. Where the hell did this thing come from, man? I don't know. I'm not too concerned, though, I guess. It's just a pig. Boy, this guy is not doing great, though. Zan axe squids. Well, it's actually mostly bruising. Her neck is torn open, which isn't great, and her lower front teeth is gone. Huh, nothing wrong with a little character. And actually, this pig just wandered into this room right here, so I'm gonna lock all these doors and we don't even have to worry about it anymore. Fantastic. Maybe some animals died of old age or something like that. It's a 5th of granite right now. And I've noticed that sometimes things die on the 1st of the year. It could very well be. And this poor cogsdwarf is working the way up this stairway towards the hospital, vomiting the entire way. Yeah, it says she has no health problems. I think that warrants a nickname. What do you say? Alright, Zan, from now on you should be known as... Well, I imagine for a goat zombie to have gotten rid of all of her teeth in the bottom, it must have whacked the hell out of her face. And if it was go, I assume it did it just by charging into her face. Ah, no. It kicked her in the face. It's kind of an interesting story, really. A goat zombie kicked you in the face, and you lost half your teeth. She was vomiting on her way up the stairs. I don't know, I'm not getting anything besides like goaty or goat face. Hoof, mouth... blood jaw? No, that's too badass. Alright, so she's got no teeth on her bottom jaw. That means she's got to talk pretty screwed up at this point, right? We'll go with Zan Hisser, because I imagine there's a lot of spitting and stuff when she tries to talk now. Another cruel nickname, but them's the breaks. It'll teach those dwarves not to get kicked in the face by goats anymore. Hopefully. Mathol Farashlorbam, the woods dwarf, has created Ginganed, a ashen cabinet. The young sports, encircled with bands of turkey bone, menaces with spikes of clear garnet and pigtail. On the item is an image of a square in ash. On the item is an image of owner drinkers, the lightning of griffins, the horsebone right gauntlet in ash. 2 images of that gauntlet, one in ash, the other one in Heliodor, as well as an image of a briolet cut gem in red zircon, and an image of giant gray parrots in gold. And to finish it off, on the item is an image of a horse in dog leather. The horse is dead. Well, I guess I can't be too mad. We haven't seen any dead animals and artifacts as of late. Maybe it's passing out of fashion. We can hope as much. Throw it in the pile and get back to work. A vile force of darkness has arrived. And I'm actually super excited about this. I'm already seeing some big dogs and I'm really hoping for a big siege this time. It's gotta be a big one, right? There's already big dogs. 4 of them. I'm gonna have to go through and redo the entire burrow, which sucks ass. Oh well. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Alright, that should do it. We have our new burrow all set up. That is a nice burrow too, not one of those shabby square ones. It's all right where it should be. I'm going to be keeping the dwarves down underneath this time, which is a first. And that's exciting for another reason too, YouTube. Finally, we'll be able to get to try out this water trap here. Hopefully they get this far. If it's a really big siege, it shouldn't be a problem. Alright then, let's see. Fortress lockdown. Everyone to it, let's go. Oh shit. Someone had a strange mood and they just went berserk. Well, we'll just lock these doors here, and I'll deal with that later. Anywho. Oh yeah, I've got a good feeling, YouTube. Whole bunch of beak dogs this time, and I'm already seeing trolls. Everyone get in the fortress, let's go. Oh man, would you look at that. And they're still coming. Alright, everyone go. Go ahead, continue. Drop your boulder, my friend. Come on, Hisser, I just gave you a nickname this episode. Oh boy, they are still coming too. This is a beautiful siege. Spike Hall's already doing its job. I'm just really hoping this dwarf can get down underneath in time. Come on, man, drop the boulder, you idiot. Not a chance. Yeah, she's getting ripped to pieces. You know, I'm starting to be concerned if these guys will even get through this hall here. I mean, there's zombies popping up all over the place now. And they seem to kind of be interested in fighting the zombies, while still stepping on the pressure plate to trigger those spikes, making more zombies. That's very interesting. Yeah, they're not having a great time up there. I think they're all crammed in that hallway right now. Well, the number of invaders has dropped drastically at this point. Oh shit, a troll got down here. Oh, the troll just whacked this guy off the cliff here. Zuglar, the tunneler, and our current mayor. Hang in there, buddy. Troops are coming. Oh boy. Trolls letting them have it. Squads. Where you be, squads? Oh, they're fighting the troll. Run, Zuglar. Yeah, they killed it. Good. Looks like both her right and left lower arms are mangled beyond recognition. But I'm sure she's still gonna make mandates, right? Let's see, back up top. Yeah, those guys are not having a great time. There are so few invaders now, it's ridiculous. Yet it says the siege is ongoing still. Not for much longer, I'm sure. Yeah, there's only a handful of invaders left now at this point, and a whole bunch of zombies, which are a bit easier to deal with than goblins. Although there is already a long line of zombies coming down towards the fortress. Oh boy, a whole bunch of them too. I'm going to send my squads up to the green hall level. There are more zombies now than I've ever tried to enter the fortress at once. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little concerned. Zombies are easy, but there are so many of them. Oh my god, look at these things. They're currently out there devouring a troll, it would seem. Still living, I have no clue how. Who's this? Bemble's corpse. I think that was one of the cogs dwarves, actually. Alright, here they come. Get them, dwarves. More and more dwarves are joining the fray at this point. Corpses are starting to pile up. leaving a mangled pile of goblin corpses in their wake. I'm starting to get a little concerned. Oh man, there's a whole bunch of beak dog zombies out here. Come on, guys. Keep going. This is beautiful right here, YouTube. I'm starting to get a little concerned because it looks like they're headed towards the North Hall there. There's no way I could pull them back at this point. They're just going to keep going after these zombies until they're all dead. If they get up that far, then they run the chance of a zombie stepping on the plate while they're up in the hall. And then they'll fall victim to the trap, and I don't want that at all. Looks like somebody's wounded. Rakkus, the owl hammer. A couple cuts and he's missing an ear. Not too bad. Keep at it, buddy. Fight, you damn dwarves. I am loving this trail of corpses they're leaving behind them. I really don't want them to go up in there. Come on, guys. Head back. Not good. Guys, get out of the hall, please. You shouldn't be in the hall. It's very dangerous. Please leave the hall. You know, it might be safer for them to be in the hall so they can just kill things as they pop up. Right? Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna station them all in this hallway here. It's probably not smart, but I don't know that I can call them all back safely. It looks like the zombies have stopped popping up for now. I'm gonna attempt to get my guys back down to the green hall. Go ahead, guys. Oh, damn it. There's one wounded dwarf here. Yeah, it's Rakkus. Alright, since Rakkus is one of the owls, I'm going to keep them up here in the hall with him. And I'm going to try to get Moral's Fist back down to the green hall. That way, if they do get stabbed by those damn spikes, it's only half of them. Really kind of hoping nobody gets stabbed, though. But we can't leave a dwarf behind. Go ahead, you guys. Well, it looks like Moral's Fist is trying to get down to the green hall, but they keep seeing zombies pop up and running back into the hall. You know, it actually seems like they're pretty safe up in this hall as long as they stay up in the middle. They've already killed all the zombies around that pressure plate, so the rest of them are coming from around the middle of the hallway or the northern end, so they don't run the risk of stepping on the pressure plate. We should be fine. Well, it looks like the merchants have arrived. And it looks like the outpost liaison brought his Mostod from home. He probably thinks he's gonna have a good old time just playing the thing at the Golden Cudgel. Imagine the look on his face when he rounds that corner and sees just lumps of goblin gore all over the place. Looks like some of the merchants are heading through this tunnel here. Now I have that pressure plate set so that citizens can't trigger the thing, but I'm not sure if these merchants are considered to be citizens. I'm pretty sure I just saw somebody step on it, and it didn't do anything. Well, that's good. Well, looks like we have another wounded dwarf here. Nil, the owl hammer, who currently apparently cannot breathe. I'm hoping that they can breathe soon. Oh, god damn it, they died. There's still a surprising amount of zombies coming back. Well, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. The entire siege is in here. It looks like the liaison's now down in the lower fortress, having a meeting with the mayor, just out in the hall there. Hey, you know, I lost my Mostod out there. I brought it from home. That's pretty upsetting to me. This is gonna affect our relationship with your fortress here. And Zuglar's just like, can't you see that both of my arms are currently mangled? I've got bigger things to worry about. At this point, I'm fairly confident we've killed the majority of the zombies. Actually, you know, just as I say that, one came back, but I think most of them are gone. So I'm gonna turn off the fortress lockdown right now. Looks like a lot of those merchants dropped their crap in this goddamn hall. That on top of all these goddamn goblin pieces we gotta pick up, that's a pain in the ass, YouTube. I've got to make sure not to throw out the outpost liaison's Mostod, but everything else can go, except for Nil's equipment, the dwarf who died there. A lot of my dwarves named their weapons and shields during that fight. It looks like Nil claimed 24 lives before they went down. Awesome. Let's take a look at Asteshtalon. 56 kills, huh? Well, it looks like the Knuckle Lord Moral has the most kills by far, with 27 currently. You know, after a glorious battle like that, I think I'm gonna have to hand out some nicknames, especially to Moral, the Knuckle Lord. He has a broad body made broader still by no shortage of surrounding lard. His narrow nose is upturned. His skin is pale pink. Let's see, Moral, from now on you shall be known as Wild Hog. Well, it looks like Ingish, our former mayor, the fancy one there, he already has a bunch of scars, but he seemed to hold his own in that fighting there. And this looks like a chance to make him a little bit more badass. So we'll call him Scar. Ingish Scar Avaldagost. And here we have Rakkus the Owlhammer, the one that was badly wounded in that fighting, who is missing his left ear. You know, actually, now that I'm taking a look at the guy, he's only 19 years old, and he arrived at the fortress when he was 1 year old. Well, it makes me like him that much more. Well, I'm not too sure. Maybe the dwarves aren't feeling too creative today. Rakkus to 1 ear, Aslan Vukrig. Gets the point across. Oh my god, YouTube, would you take a look at this guy? Ral Grizzlebolted. This was that dwarf with that bruised leg that was kind of sitting out in the snow for a while, but now they have 45 kills. Rather, 47 kills. That's damn impressive. Therefore, you shall be Ral Bruiser in no Lileth. And I think that'll do it for nicknames for now. Don't want to hand out too many. It's probably best that I do most of this cleanup between episodes, because it's going to take quite some time. Oh my god, somebody else was just hurt by a beak dog. Not good. Oh well, hopefully we can get this stuff sorted out between episodes. I think it's time to start wrapping this up. First of all, how about those goblins? Look at all these carcasses. All dead goblins. We've got to be closer to retaking this age, huh? I mean, I wasn't keeping track of how many we killed exactly, but at least 100 of them, right? I don't think anybody escaped from that siege. More glory for the warriors. Nicknames have been passed out. That's always good. Granted, we've lost 4 dwarves so far, but we can recover from that easy enough. Also, would you take a look up here? The old fortress. Almost completely barren now. No furniture, doors, anything. Well, I mean, you know, there's still some doors and crap in here, but most of our operations are now underneath here. All these beautiful rooms all cleaned up with nice furniture in there. Every dwarf has a cabinet, chest, chair, table, and bed. We got some new farm plots here. Kitchens, stills, food storage areas. All in a good state of operation. A new, if tiny, library. Better than nothing. A couple of nice new temples up here. For Lorbam, the dwarven god of fame, and of course Ital, the god of balance. A brand spanking new, multi-level memorial hall, complete with temples to the god of night and the god of dusk. A new shrine area for the fortress's heroes. A couple new barracks areas, which have been completed at this point. You can see in this little entry chamber here, I put new statues of both Asteshtalon and Kivish, the old leader, as well as images of Delersholid's screaming gloves on the ground in Orthoclase. This one down here is identical. And of course there are multiple Z levels high. And over here I have a couple new temples going up that are not yet completed, but I'll get those finished at some point. Temples to Tomud, the god of war, and Kikros, the god of fortresses. I figured I'd make those in the main area, but we'll see those next episode. All in all, an extremely successful episode. However, something I'm a bit worried about is the fact that over the past few seasons, I've received the message that no migrants have arrived this season. Which is kind of odd. We were getting such regular migrant waves, and then they kind of started to slow down with 2 dwarf migrant waves, and now we're just getting nothing at all. I'm starting to wonder if the dwarf population of this world is really just starting to deplete. That would kind of suck, but it seems at least fairly likely. But no matter, this is Delersholid after all. We could withstand anything that those damn goblins throw at us, as evidenced by the gore-strewn North Hall. Man, that thing worked wonders, huh? It seems to do a much better job against gigantic sieges than small ones. That tiny siege we had just walked through. But this large one couldn't even pass by it. Although we're gonna have to do something about that if we ever want to see this water trap underneath do its thing. Which, by the way, I really kinda want to see. But we'll see what happens. Also, I should note that this episode took about 2 years. Which really is something. We started it in 1024, and now it's 1026. It must have been around the end of 1024, I imagine, so almost 2 years. 21 bloody exciting years. The start of many more to come, hopefully. Well, thank you for watching YouTube. As always, I really appreciate it. Don't be afraid to comment because I love that shit. And don't forget, if you get some Delersholid based artwork to me, I'll make sure that it gets into next episode. But until next time, YouTube.